Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. As you can possibly tell, I am so congested right now. And I thought that I was having really bad hay fever when I woke up because that is common for me. Like, I am quite allergic to like dust and when the seasons change and stuff. But I took a Claritin. It's not getting any better. And I feel like I'm starting to feel a bit sick, like in my body. So now I'm wondering if like my whole mentee bee that I had at the beginning of the week being like, I'm so run down, I'm so overwhelmed and feel so out of control, if that was like leading up to me getting sick. Which would track because I always get very cranky right before I get sick and around when I'm sick. And obviously, I didn't like know that I was getting sick. If this is sick, I don't know if this is sick. I guess we'll see. If I record tomorrow, if there's a mini scroll tomorrow, it just means that I had hay fever. If I don't, then that means that I'm sick. But yes, so I am here. I am recording for you guys. Hopefully, this goes okay in terms of like my sneezing. I'm having like sneezing attacks and stuff. And we will see how I am. I'm here by myself today. The girls don't work from the office on Wednesday, so I'm not getting anyone sick if I am sick, thankfully. But we will just play it by ear. All right, let's just get right into the stories. So the first story that I have for you guys, I'm sorry, I know that I talk about JoJo Siwa like every fucking day on this podcast. And if you don't care about JoJo Siwa, this is probably really annoying for you. But I feel like there's in like certain periods of time in celebrity and influencer culture, there's certain personalities who are obviously either on like press tours or like they're just really buzzy. And she's just one of those people. You know, for a while it was Taylor Swift. Like almost every episode we talked about Taylor. Now here we are talking about JoJo. So JoJo Siwa, it seems as though she might be changing her perspective on child stardom. So it seems that JoJo might be ready to confront the realities of her child stardom. In a new interview with Australian radio personality Smallzy, JoJo opened up about her experience as a child star, and her comments contradict some of the recent things she has said in the past. So JoJo went on the Call Her Daddy podcast, as we know, recently, and a lot of those clips went viral, but something that didn't get enough attention was JoJo talking about her Coogan account and kind of her mom as her manager. So for anyone that doesn't know, a Coogan account, that's based off of the Coogan law, and essentially it's in the US, it's for child stars or anyone who's a minor that works in like entertainment, and it protects children from like their parents taking all of their money. So 15% of what the child makes goes into a protected account called a Coogan account, and they have access to that when they're 18. The downside of that is that still 85% of their income while they're minors working can go to their family and their parents. And that seems to be the case with JoJo because on Call Her Daddy, she said that her parents were concerned that when she turned 18, she would take the money in her Coogan account and she would basically be like, all right, bye. And she would stop helping support them. Because I guess they live off of course, what she was making all these years. And she said on Call Her Daddy, you know, I reassured them, like I wouldn't do that. And I look at it now and I feel like so lucky that I get to help support my family and I get to give them this life. So she definitely still is supporting her family. I mean, as far as it sounds. But then last week when she went on this Australian radio show, she had different things to say. So she said that she does feel taken advantage of as a child star. She said different than, you know, how some of her colleagues felt taken advantage of when the Quiet on Set documentary came out and they shared their stories. She said she was not taken advantage of in a quote unquote like sexual way, but she said from a business perspective, she was, which is really interesting. And then she also just kind of like off the cuff said that child stars should get 100% of their Coogan account, which is very interesting because as we know, her parents were living off the 85% of her income that wasn't going into her Coogan account. So a lot of people are taking these comments, since they are so different from what she said before, as possibly an indication that she is starting to kind of reconcile with what happened to her. And if you listen to this podcast, you know I talk about JoJo all the time, but I also talk about how she is a child star and we don't give her enough grace for the trauma that she would have been through, and that it's very obvious to me at least that she hasn't done a lot of work in like reconciling with the trauma that would come with being a child star. Like, she obviously was exploited in many ways, and she doesn't seem to have the capacity at the moment to deal with that. And I think that's because she's maintained so much relevance and success and fame. So I think that this could be the first little sprinkle of us seeing JoJo enter this new era where she is ready to start confronting some of that stuff. I hope she does, but I hope she does it in a healthy and safe way. And I've said this before, but I think we're going to get some wild tell-all book in like 10 to 20 years from her. All right, the next story that I have for you guys is that the Four Seasons Orlando is open to collaborating with Fully Conscious Baby. That is a brain rot sentence if I have ever said one. Okay, so the girls, like Annabelle and Alex, have been telling me all week since Monday that I need to talk about Fully Conscious Baby on Mini Scroll. But I keep being like, well, what would I say? Like, there's this viral video and the baby puts his hand up and it's so proper and everybody's making memes of it. I mean, I guess I talk about memes on this podcast, but this one is just such it's not like a cultural moment that you can participate in the same way that I think when we talked about like glycine talk, or even when I talked about galvanized square steel talk, like those are things, I don't know, they just feel more like marketing moments, whereas this is just like a viral video, right? Okay, so there's this video, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but a mom comes down the stairs and her husband is holding a baby and then there's a toddler and she says, who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? And they all say me, and the baby, its motor skills seem so refined. Like, she puts up her hand like this and her one finger is pointed. She's like, me? And people are like, how does she know what you're saying? How does she know what the Four Seasons Orlando is? Like, she just said me, like right on the dot. How is she putting her hand up like that? It's in such a proper way. It's like she has such amazing dexterity. So it's turned into this like whole thing online. So now the Rolling Stone has interviewed the mother behind Fully Conscious Baby. Also, people are calling her Fully Conscious Baby because she's like fully conscious. Like, she's like, it's like an adult in a baby suit. That's what people are saying. Okay, so the baby's name is Kate. She is 13 months old, because I did see a lot of people say, oh, it's very clear that that baby is like 2 years old, but maybe just like looks younger. And that's why she's like more conscious, quote unquote. But no, she's 13 months old. And like I said, the mother was interviewed for Rolling Stone. She says that she's like loving the feedback and that they have this family group chat and people are screenshotting and posting a lot of the like stitches and TikToks and comments and whatever that are really funny, like sending them to each other. She said that Kate, the baby, is not fully conscious. She says that she says things like yes, no, like she just responds in however which way she wants to. And that like this particular video just happened to be like serendipitous, where she just said like the perfect right thing and did the right thing at the right time. And they caught it on camera, obviously. And now, of course, Four Seasons Orlando has said that they are looking to collaborate with Fully Conscious Baby and her family. Classic. No, but honestly, that would just be such a missed opportunity if they didn't. Like, you have to jump on moments like this. I actually saw a video from the woman that runs the Duolingo account. And, you know, obviously Duolingo is like so successful on TikTok. And she was talking about the song, I'm Looking for a Man in Finance, that one that's going off on TikTok. And she was like, people ask me all the time, like brands and marketing managers ask me all the time, how do we capitalize on this? How do we make like authentic viral moments on TikTok? And she's like, this is the time. This song that's like viral right now, if you are a financial services company or you touch money and finances in any way, you need to be looking to collaborate with this girl that made this song. You need to be looking to use this song. You need to create content around this moment. So yes, it would have been a massively missed opportunity for the Four Seasons Orlando to not collaborate with this family. And yeah, hopefully they get, you know, maybe a little free vacation. All right. And the last story that I have for you guys is that OpenAI has allegedly, seemingly, stolen Scarlett Johansson's voice. So Scarlett Johansson is accusing OpenAI CEO Sam Altman of recreating her voice for the chatbot of his company's ChatGPT AI system called Sky. As reported by Entertainment Tonight, Scarlett Johansson said, quote, last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman, who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me that he felt that by my voicing the system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. He said he felt that my voice would be comforting people. Scarlett ended up declining after, quote, much consideration and for personal reasons. However, she said so many of her friends and family members noted how similar Sky's chatbot voice sounds to her voice. And Sam Altman also low key confirmed that it was based on Scarlett's voice. He tweeted her in relation to the chatbot. And this is a reference to a 2013 film in which Scarlett voiced an AI chatbot. The film was titled Her. She said, quote, in a time when we are all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likeness, our own work, our own identities, I believe these are questions that deserve absolute clarity. I look forward to resolution in the form of transparency and the passage of appropriate legislation to help ensure that individual rights are protected. And Scarlett has actually been one celebrity that has been very vocal about the risk of AI and deepfakes. Journalist Kat Tenbarge tweeted yesterday, Scarlett Johansson and AI. She has been one of the celebrities at the forefront of the non-consensual deepfakes issue for longer than most people knew they existed. She spoke out about the legal impossibilities of fighting them back in 2018. So in response to all of this, Sam Altman issued a statement to The Verge. He said, quote, the voice of Sky is not Scarlett Johansson and it never intended to resemble hers. We cast the voice actor behind Sky's voice before any outreach to Miss Johansson. Out of respect for Miss Johansson, we have paused Sky's voice in our products. We are sorry to Miss Johansson that we didn't communicate better. Do I believe that they tried to find somebody who sounds like Scarlett Johansson? Yes, probably. I do believe that. I think it's cool that she's pushing back on this and that she's speaking out about this. I mean, this is such an ongoing problem that these big tech giants, they have so much money and so much power, and they just steamroll entire industries and they make so much change so quickly, and they play God. That's what they do. And I think it's really cool to see such a prolific celebrity, somebody who is such a mainstay in pop culture, push back and be like, fuck you. We're not doing this. Anyways, guys, that is it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. As I said, if there is no episode tomorrow, I am sorry, but I am sick. If there is, that means I just have allergies. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I love you, and I might talk to you tomorrow. If not, there will still be a deep dive on Friday. All right, bye.